the opening moves.
Carlsen opens with pawn to e4, classic move, grabs the center.
Standard stuff. And rapport.
Goes for the Caro-Can defense.
Right.
One pawn to c6. Then after two pawn to d4, he plays pawn to d5.
Right. The Caro philosophy. Support the center first, then challenge.
Exactly. Solid. Carlsen chooses the exchange variation. He takes on d5-3, pawn takes pawn.
Pawn takes pawn back.
And then 4, bishop to d3, aiming the bishop towards black's kingside pretty early.
Okay. And rapport just develops normally.
Yeah, 4, knight to f6. Pretty standard development.
But now comes Carlsen's move. 5h3. This looks quiet.
It looks quiet, but it's actually quite strategic. Ambitious, even.
Ambitious. H3. It just looks like he's stopping something. Losing time.
He's stopping something very specific.
Yeah.
He's stopping black's light-squared bishop from coming out to g4.
Ah, the typical Caro issue. The quote-unquote bad bishop on c8.
Exactly. Normally, black tries to solve that by playing bishop g4, pinning a knight on f3 if it were there.
Yeah.
Carlsen says no with 5h3.
So he's clamping down early. What's the long-term plan with that?
He wants to keep that bishop stuck behind the pawns, then maybe build up pressure, get a knight securely planted on the e5 square. Positional control.
Okay, a positional stranglehold attempt.
Okay.
And he follows up with 6. Pawn to c3, solidifying d4.
Solid, yes. But maybe a touch slow.
And Rapport pounces.
He sure does. 6, pawn to e5. Bang. A really dynamic break in the center.
Wow, okay. He's basically giving up his pawn structure here, isn't he? He'll get an isolated pawn on d5.
He will. That pawn on d5 will be isolated potentially a week later. But look what he gets in return.
Piece activity. Open lines.
Tons of it. Immediate explosive activity. He's breaking the game open right away. That's a huge strategic decision against someone like Carlsen.
So phase 2 begins. Carlsen accepts the challenge.
Yep. 7, pawn takes pawn on e5. Knight takes back on e5.
And Carlsen plays 8. Queen to e2. Hits the knight. Develops the queen. Makes sense.
And note what he didn't play. He avoided 8, knight f3.
Why is that significant?
That would lead to a very standard isolated queen's pawn position. Maybe a bit easier for black to handle. Rapport would likely be fine there.
But instead, with queen e2, Rapport does something interesting.
Very interesting. 8, knight to e4. Just plonks the other knight right into the center.
Ooh. Okay, that knight looks annoying.
It is. Super creative. It hits the bishop on d3, it controls key squares, and crucially, it keeps the tension high. He's refusing to let Carlsen simplify.
Just like you said, he wants those complications. He's avoiding that slow Carlsen grind.
Totally. Then we see a forced sequence. 9, bishop i5 check.
Bishop blocks on d7.
Then 10. Knight to f3 from Carlsen. And now Rapport again chooses complexity.
How so?
He plays 10. Knight to g6. Look at the alternative 10. Bishop takes b5.
That trades bishops.
Right. It liquidates. Leads to a drier, more technical position. Exactly what Carlsen excels at. Rapport says no. Knight g6 keeps more pieces, more dynamism, more potential for attack. It's combative.
He's really sticking to his strategy. Now, did Carlsen have a stronger option here on move 11?
He did, according to the engines anyway. The strongest move was probably 11. Knight to d4.
Knight d4. What does that do?
It immediately puts pressure on black's setup. It threatens to play f2, f3, kicking the knight on e4, challenging black's central control much more directly. That would have been a tougher fight for Rapport.
But Carlsen didn't play that.
No, he played the quieter, developing move 11, bishop to e3, which is interesting because apparently this was a new move for Carlsen in this exact spot.
Really? So he's stepping into unknown territory himself in a rapid game. Risky.
Can be, yeah. The game continues reasonably. 11, bishop to d6, developing. 12, knight b to d2.
Black castles kingside. Gets the king safe.
Point 1-3. Carlsen takes the bishop on d7, queen takes back.
Okay, so now where are we? The dust seems to have settled a bit.
Yeah, it's a complex middle game, looks roughly balanced, the center's open, both sides are pretty well developed.
Right.
But the stage is set.
For the drama, phase 3, errors and missed chances.
And it starts immediately. Carlsen plays 14, rook to d1.
Rook d1. Okay, developing the rook, putting it on an open file. Seems logical.
It seems logical, but it's actually the first significant mistake. A pretty clear error, in fact.
Why? What's wrong with it?
King safety. His king is still sitting in the middle of the board.
Oh, right. He hasn't castled yet. That's surprising for Carlsen.
Very surprising, especially such an open position. He's known for his positional understanding, his safety-first approach sometimes. Why skip castling here?
Maybe overconfidence, thinking he could calculate everything, or just a clock pressure oversight.
Could be a mix. He saw a developing move, maybe underestimated the danger. The simple, correct move was 14, castling kingside, obvious king safety. That keeps things level. Rook d1, just invites trouble.
Okay, Carlsen errs. But now, this is the really fascinating part, isn't it? Rapport misses the knockout blow.
Right here, it's incredible. Carlsen makes a mistake, and Rapport immediately makes one back. He plays 14, rook f to e8.
Rook f a8, it's marked as an error.
Yes, because it misses a clear, strong advantage.
Yeah.
The winning move was 14, rook 8 to e8.
Okay, hold on. Explain this. Using the rook from the A file versus the rook from the F file, why is that the difference between winning and just being equal?
It all comes down to how the attack unfolds after white inevitably tries to trade knights on e4. Let's walk through the winning line quickly.
Please do.
Okay, imagine 14. Rook of 2 e8 was played. Then if white plays 15, knight takes e4, black recaptures 15, rook takes e4. See, the rook from a8 is now on e4.
Okay.
Crucially, this leaves the other rook, the one that started on f8, still sitting on f8. It guards f7, and it's ready to swing into the attack along the f file later.
I see. So with the move Rapport actually played, 14, rook f to e8.
That f rook is already committed to the e file. If the knight trade happens, the a rook recaptures, but the f rook isn't ideally placed on f8 anymore. It weakens the coordination just enough.
Wow. A single square. The difference between a near win and equality. Amazing.
That's top-level chess. The margins are razor thin. So Carlsen gets a lucky break. He simplifies with 15. Knight takes e4.
And Rapport recaptures 15. Rook takes e4. Back to a somewhat level game, but the position is still dangerous.
Very dangerous.
Yeah.
And Carlsen's luck runs out immediately. Phase 4. Rapport's brilliant finish.
What happens?
Carlsen makes the decisive mistake. The losing blunder. 16. Knight to g5.
Knight g5. Attacking the rook on e4, defending f7, looks active.
Active, yes. Fatally active. He's ignoring his king's safety again, trying to counterpunch when he should be consolidating.
What was the safe move?
Castling. Just 16. Castling kingside.
And that saves him.
It leads to a forced draw. There's a line with a sacrifice on g2, but it ends in perpetual check. Carlsen would have escaped with half a point, but knight g5, that walks right into it.
And Rapport doesn't miss this time.
No way. Who immediately plays 16. Knight to f4. Beautiful square for the knight. Hits the queen on e2, threatens mate on g2 indirectly. Huge pressure.
Carlsen has to react. He defends with 17. Queen to f3.
Okay, defends g2, moves the queen. But now, the hammer blow.
What is it?
17. Queen to b5. Just a stunning move.
Queen b5, way over on the queen side. What does that do?
It hits the weak pawn on b2, creating a second front. But crucially, it keeps the pressure cooker on the king side absolutely boiling. White's king is now in terrible danger. It's a brilliant dynamic shot.
White is just busted here, aren't they? What can Carlsen even do?
He's forced to play 18 g3, kicking the knight on f4.
Why forced? Can't he just take the rook on e4?
Nope. If 18, knight takes e4, then simply pawn takes e4, and look, the pawn attacks the queen on f3.
Wow.
If the queen moves, say, qg4, then black plays h5.
And the queen is trapped.
Oh, wow. Okay, so g3 is forced.
18. g3. Rapport continues the assault. 18. Pawn to f6. Just pushing the knight away.
Carlsen takes a knight. 19, pawn takes f4, Rapport takes back. 19, pawn takes g5. Material is level again, but look at white's structure. It's shattered. And now, the final piece joins the party.
20.
fx g5, and then 20. Rook f to f8.
The rook swing. The piece that was misplaced earlier now comes decisively into the game.
Exactly. It hits the queen. It controls the f file.
Yeah.
It's beautiful coordination. The attack that was missed on move 14 is now fully realized.
The attack is just overwhelming now.
Completely. Carlsen tries 21. Queen to g2, trying to hold things. Rapport calmly brings the other rook over. 21. Rook e to e8, doubling on the e file, hitting e3.
Carlsen shifts the queen again. 22. Queen to f1. Trying to cover e2, maybe.
Maybe, but Rapport ignores it and just cashes in. 22, queen takes b2, grabs a pawn, threatens more.
Carlsen's last try. 23. Rook to d2. Blocks the queen's diagonal.
But it's too late. Rapport finishes it off with style. 23, rook takes e3 check.
Sacrifice.
A deflection sacrifice, and it's crushing. Carlsen resigned right here.
You saw the force mate.
Oh yeah. After 24, pawn takes rook, black plays rook takes e3 check again. The king has to go to d1, 25, kd1, and then queen b1 is checkmate.
Wow. Game over. Just like that. A spectacular 23-move win for Rapport against Magnus Carlsen.
Yeah, it's a brilliant finish.
So wrapping this up.
It suggests that recognizing the potential, the strategic landscape, can sometimes be just as powerful as pinpoint tactical accuracy, something to definitely mull over.
We'll leave you with that thought. Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive.